And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone. This is Aluminum Tarot. It's so nice to have you here. Of course, this is a special occasion, so this is the only reason why I'm showing my face at the moment. It's for the August 8th portal, the opening to our ability to manifest. And so for this kind of special occasion, we're going to have kind of like 888 energy, something very similar to what's shown in China when they have ba ba ba. Ba being the number 8 in Chinese Mandarin. What we're going to do today, we're going to just do a quick reading about that, talk a little bit about what the significance of this is. And it's called the Lion's Gate Portal. Of course, it's in the season of Leo. And additionally, with it being the number 8, if I'm not mistaken, card number 8 in the tarot is Strength, which is represented by Leo. This is in the Major Arcana. So that being said, what it is basically a really powerful time for people to manifest the things that they truly desire in their lifetime, and it gives you that extra push or that movement forward in order for you to materialize your dreams. This is something that I like to specialize a lot in, especially with me. I prefer people taking the destiny into their own hands, being able to materialize things using the power of the magician and getting, making their happiness known by bringing it into terra firma, into the real world, rather than just passively saying to themselves that, oh, well, I need to, listen to what the cards say because the cards will it. The cards do give guidance, but they're not an end-all be-all solution for everything, nor do they keep things set in stone. So I'm going to take my time this time. Of course, I've just come back from a trip up to Scotland and had, an absolutely eye-opening and amazing time that really gave me some perspective on the way the way to conduct life, different lessons, which I've blogged about in a blog post for another publication I work for. But that said, maybe I'll include the link in here, maybe not. But it was, for me, absolutely eye-opening. It was amazing. I traveled about 1,600 miles from Yorkshire all the way up to the very tip of Scotland, John O'Groats, by motorbike. It's the first time I've ever done a trip like that in my life. And of course, it tested my skills, but it also showed me about, the joy and the art of serendipity. And that was something that I've been trying to materialize and manifest for a long time. So that is definitely ticked off the bucket list, and I can be very happy about that. That said, we're going to go ahead and move straight into the Lion's Gate reading. We're going to use some cards from the Moonology Tarot, and then we're going to go straight into the Rider-Waite. I'm going to keep it simple and light with this one. I will take a little bit of time for this one, as I've been kind of doing guerrilla tarot throughout the previous readings that I've done, which have been a bit short. So I do want to kind of fill in the gaps for that. So what can my collective learn about their Lion's Gate portal manifestations? What can my collective learn about the Lion's Gate portal message? So this is for everyone. It's not any specific sign. If it resonates with you, great. If not, wait until your weeklies. So what is the Moonology message for our collective? What is the Moonology message for our collective? Ironically, we have a fiery climax approaches. So this is still a fire sign. This is, Aries. It's not necessarily Leo. But what we are talking about here is the combination of energy, effort, passion that you have put into something. It's finally reaching ahead, and it is giving you the chance to either, push this forward and materialize it, or it's allowing you to actually see it at its, its apotheosis or its apex of manifestation. And I think this is very good for you, just considering that, what we are looking at here is we're trying to bring that into light. It's kind of like a birth process. When something is coming, is being birthed into this world, it's a painful process. There's nothing light about the process of being, born, just as much as, dying is also a painful process. But the transition from the spiritual to the physical and vice versa is always a process that causes pain, sometimes suffering. And if you feel that whatever it is that you've been trying to manifest has also been a very difficult and painful process, then you will probably resonate with this quite well. Whether that's building a business and getting a job off the ground, trying to bring money into your life, trying to manifest some kind of love, hobby, or something that you've wanted to do for a long time, this indicates to me that whatever it is that you've been trying to do is now finally reaching its highest point. And that for you is going to be a great thing, especially if this has been a slow process. Sometimes you can take a long time to get the forms. You may have to wait until things, the timing is right. Sometimes you have to worry about whether or not, it's all working in divine timing where you can actually manifest what it is that you really want. It's a game of patience, really. When we have Aries, Aries is of course ruled by Mars, and we then think about how Aries is actually the one that is the progenitor sign. It is the one that brings forth things through its own actions, and it's also one that doesn't really wait around too much longer. So for this Lionsgate portal, I think that's going to be very relevant to whatever it is that you want to materialize. So we're going to go ahead and get started, Rider-Waite deck. So pull 3 cards from the Rider-Waite, and then I'm actually going to pull a few cards from another deck. So we have the 3 of Pentacles, what else? What else can we tell them about their collective message? Justice, Eight of Wands. So these are very good cards. We're going to go slowly through this. Let's break this down a bit. So the first card that's come out is the 3 of Pentacles. What this indicates is a period in which you are working with other people. This is on a material, pragmatic level, and what this talks about is actually using the networks that you have around you to build something. What you have here in the Rider-Waite, you have 3 people working together. 2 people actually are working as almost like an architect, building something. What they normally were tasked with was building the masonry of buildings. They were also tasked with the archways that you see here. And masonry was actually a very mathematical kind of science that many people were engaged in at the times of the Middle Ages. And so, of course, you hear about Freemasonry and things like that, which I don't specifically ascribe to, but I understand that the science is about building things using a scientific approach towards them. And so for you, what you've been doing over these last few periods is you've also been building a lot of material, incremental steps towards your goals. So this may be signing contracts, this may be procuring supplies, this may be, having conversations with the people that you like, joining groups, so on and so on. But this is to build up. And 3 of Pentacles being the number of expansion, this almost gives me like mini Empress vibes. This is kind of like the precursor to the Empress, which would indicate to me that before you can become abundant, you are actually working hard to procure a lot of these material resources in order for you to lay the foundation. So even in building something, you have to have a foundation. And that's what the Three of Pentacles also insinuates, where, you know, you're listening to one another, you're actually working with someone who has a bit more expertise in this than you do, because this person is kind of advising the other two. And so this would be the first steps towards your manifestation to get it off the ground. You have justice here, and this can go several ways, you know, but what this is card number 11. So you have 3 and then you have 11. And so 3 and 11, I'm not going to really work too much in numerology terms on that. But what we can say is that with card number 11, this is normally the card of manifestation also. Because when you have 1111, that is when you have that final portal where everything is stable and it's balanced out. With justice, you have several symbols within this in the Rider-Waite deck. You have firstly the sword, you have the crown being the center of power, the authority to do a specific task, and this is the element of air, so this is the authority within air. This is the sign representing Libra, and so if you have Libra in your chart, this could also show you that this is pertaining to the next stage of your manifestation, which is bringing things into balance. Sometimes what this can also indicate is someone that is working with legal frameworks, contracts, laws, signing documents, things of that nature, where there is a fair exchange of energies between two different people. And so with the color red here, we also show more of this action. So when we have cards like a fiery climax approaches, you have the opposite sign of Aries, which is a Libra, which is about bringing things fairly into balance before making a proposal or a decision. So with this particular card, what this shows is that after you work with people, you're going to finally bring things into balance in a framework in which it's conducive to everyone. So this could be more like on a business level, or even if you were to be joining social groups. It's about finally striking a balance where that, you know, you've been in these social groups, now you're trying to find balance with someone that you have fancied, or even more so, if you're in a community of people, it's about networking with those people. So when I see the Three of Pentacles and Justice together, it's like you're moving from a place of, you know, communication, networking, you know, building together, and then finally actually inking out some deals with people. Because the third card that we have here is the 8 of Pentacles. And what this talks about, this talks a little bit more about fast, quick communication coming in, fast moving action, things that normally don't take a lot of time to materialize. They normally take around, I would say, 5 days to materialize. I mean, no, 8 days to materialize, because this is a swift moving process. And so this also talks about even travel for many people. You know, I've, of course, did a bit of travel, and now I'm tired and I'm taking a break. But because hauling around 500 pounds of material, including metal, petrol, and clothing, tents, and all that stuff can really take a toll, especially after you've gone across an entire countryside. But with this, what you may be doing after you have given like the Three of Pentacles moment, in which you are, you know, building the solid foundation and the intellectual foundation with Justice. Now everything's coming into the fire element, which is action. This is where the Aries is triggered. This is an Aries, Sagittarius, Leo card. However, since we're talking about fire climax approaches, I would say this is more like the Aryan, getting shit off the ground type of card. And I think this is very indicative of a person who's like, yes, I've got all my ducks in a row to get this project going. Now it's time to launch. And I see that as being the launch, or I see that as being this swift success. We're going to clarify these 3 cards with additional cards from the from my travel deck that I was using in some of the previous readings in Scotland. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. It's very nice, very handy when I'm packing light and want to just kind of carry around a tarot deck with me And I think it should have been the main one that I brought, because I brought two other decks and I never really actually got around to using them. But with this one, I can just whip it out of my, coat pocket, do a quick reading, and carry on. So can you please clarify the Three of Pentacles, the Justice, and the Three of Wands? So keep in mind, this will all be 8 cards altogether. Clarify the Three of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. Clarify Justice. Ten of Wands. Clarify the Eight of Wands. Clarify the Eight of Wands. Okay. And we have the Ten of Swords. So we have two tens here. What we're going to look at, and then let's pull an outcome card. What is the outcome of your manifestation? What is the final thing that will manifest from all of this? Okay. So, tell me more. So I'm now pulling more than 8 cards. Okay, it's not really telling me much on that last bit, but let's go ahead and continue on. So we have clarifying the Three of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Cups. So this means that it's important for you to be clear on exactly what it is that you're trying to materialize with people that you're working with to get this project off the ground. So say, for example, you're just trying to start a business and you're working with different people. It's important that you make the intentions and the terms and conditions clear of these things, because what will happen is if you get into Seven of Cups energy, what you're doing is you're manifesting a lack of clarity, or you're potentially not getting all the details. And for some reason I'm getting this phrase, the devil is in the details, because as in the outcome we have the devil here. We'll explain a little bit more of what this means later on, but what we're talking about here is that as you build, make sure that the foundation is solid. If you don't do that, what you're going to do is you'll find later there's a lot of different issues that you have to deal with further down the road, which could lead to problems with either clients, or if you're dating, for example, and you start, chatting it up with someone, or even collaborating with someone in a group setting. If the terms are not clear, or if you're not making clear communication with people, clear boundaries even, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for things to remain solid down the road. So no lies, no deception, no wishy-washiness. Make sure that your intentions are clearly known. So with the Justice card, we had the Ten of Wands. We have 2 tens in this deck right now. And what I see the Ten of Wands being is if you've had difficult or troubling times leading up to this particular point, this Justice is going to bring everything back into balance. And I think that you've probably been waiting on this for quite a bit of time. So for instance, if you have been working really hard to get this project going, if you have been working really hard to get a job sorted out, if you've been working really hard to try to find some, a date or something, I see this more as a pragmatic situation. So I see this more as work related. If you've been working on this and it's taken a bit of time, now you're going to get into a place of balance. And this is going to kind of allow you to kind of drop this burden because you have been carrying a heavy burden. This is what I see here. So we have the Ten of Wands clarifying the Justice. The Justice is about karma. It's about getting what you have put into something. So if this has been a very difficult period where you've been putting a lot into it, finally you're going to start to see the rewards of that. And I think that that's precisely what this is trying to indicate for this particular, for this particular reading, especially for the Lionsgate portal. What we also see here with the Ten of Wands, we have the Ten of Swords. This is also, with the Eight of Wands, we have the Ten of Swords. So what this is indicating to me, finally, the difficult period that you have been dealing with throughout your life, leading up to this moment here with you trying to push forward and give birth to this project or give birth to this new period in your life, giving birth even to a relationship. That difficulty is finally over. So what I feel that you're getting here is kind of like a birthing process where you have been working really hard, gestating it. And like I said, even the process of birth is still a very difficult and painful process, because what you do is you have someone who is materializing in the womb. And as this materializes, things can go wrong. If it's not clear, think of what happens with a child. If the chromosomes are not clear, or if the cells don't divide properly, you have birth defects, you can have a stillborn child, you can have a lot of things go wrong, developmental delays, neurological conditions. It's a very sensitive process, the process of death and birth, especially birthing something, bringing something into the material world. If that process is not strictly defined, you will receive issues. But at the end of that, when the child is born and goes to that last painful moment, and you realize the child is crying as it's born, it has gone through a lot to get to that point. And so has the mother. The mother shares that pain that the child has when it's being born. Likewise for you, when you go through this birthing process, Aries is actually the card of the child anyway. It's the first one to be born into this lifetime. And it's actually the one that pushes through. It represents the child, the baby, in the formative years of 0 years of age to about 2 years of age. Then Taurus picks up for the terrible twos and so on, which Moo Crew, if you know what that's all about. You're definitely on the same, we understand each other. So what I see is this is your child. This project, this thing that you want to materialize. Let me know in the comments below what it is in your life that you're trying to bring about using the Lionsgate portal, because it's going to be different for everyone. So I don't want to give it just one thing. Oh, it's work. Oh, one thing, it's a marriage or something like that. You let me know and see how these cards apply to that message. So with that, the swift action with the Eight of Wands plus the Ten of Swords. Swift action to an end that is finally over with. A difficult, long journey, a difficult, long process of germinating and gestating something into, the material world finally comes to an end, and you can rest easy. So in the outcome, what I see here for you is we have some interesting cards. We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse, which is kind of an end to the struggle, the heartache, the difficulties, the overthinking, the overanalyzing. And getting past all of that, so that way you can move forward with whatever it is that you've brought about. You have the Eight of Cups reversed. You're no longer confused about what you're doing. You had the Seven of Cups before that. Now you have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. What I see you is not walking away from this project. Maybe you have felt like you've wanted to do that in the past. And for you, it's been a bit of a psychological mindfuck where you have been trying to stay on the chosen path about what it is that you wanted to do. Sometimes it can be very difficult. Sometimes you want to give up. You want to let go and just say, I'm done. I don't think this is really what I should be working on. But I see you in this, not walking away and not backing down, getting over the what ifs and the have nots and all that. And finally, committing to this path, this new path that you've taken with the devil. Now, the devil is not necessarily a bad card. The devil just shows you where you're obsessed about something, certain fears, insecurities, things that are toxic, and so on. But again, we look at the devil. What is it? It is the 10th house. It is Capricorn. And if you have a heavy 10th house, in my natal chart, I have Mars, Pluto, and Saturn in the 10th house of Capricorn. With the adjusted birth chart, these things appear in the 12th house. However, when we have the devil, what it shows you is where you should, where you are chained to, your obsessions. And this is the card of the career as well. So when you have a career, you have to obsess over it in order to make it grow, to make, things benefit. And, for you to actually benefit from all of the hard work and the fruits of your labor. So that's why we have the Capricorn, the goat. Half of it's submerged in water, but the other half of it is actually above it, climbing to get to the top of that mountain. And the mountains are the obstacles and the difficulties people have to face in order to get to the highest point, or the apotheosis of its own manifestation or materialization. As I explained to people, apotheosis is really the concept of reaching the highest state or the highest point in your life in which you have materialized and manifested your truest, most authentic self. And that's precisely what you're trying to do here. Now, whether this could even relate to a routine, for example, if you're trying to work out, which Aries is really, a big thing about, fitness. Many people who are Aries, you could say they're heavily ingrained in sports. It represents the athlete, but it doesn't necessarily apply to this always. So, for example, whatever it is that you're putting your time, energy, and effort into, once it's there and you have it within your grasp, do not back down. Get over your fears and insecurities and obsess over that thing. You will bring it to the next stage of its development, which I think is going to be extremely pertinent to whatever it is that you are trying to materialize for this Lion's Gate, and use that energy to help guide you. I'm going to pull some cards of advice. Pull one card from the tarot. You have the Tower, and guess whose card that is also? Aries. So you've seen me shuffle, hopefully. And even at the bottom of the deck, you have the Emperor in the reverse. I would actually look at that. You have a lot of Aries energy. It's at the bottom of the deck. It's the Emperor in the reverse. You have the Tower. You have a fiery climax approaches Aries. This is all about new starts and new beginnings. So, using this Leo time, this Leo season, you're gonna manifest something using the power of Aries. And here you say, advice is to meditate and to contemplate about what it is that you're really wanting to put into motion. In order for this to be clear, it needs to be clear in your mind first, in your mind's eye, and then actually you can bring it into the real world, where it can then slowly materialize into the physical realm. And for you, this is going to take planning. The Three of Pentacles is actually a planning card as well, same as Two of Wands. It also represents collaboration. Planning, setting things into balance, and then finally putting things into swift action. That is how you're going to bring about this Lion's Gate energy. And once you have it, don't let go of it. Let that be the thing that you tie yourself to. Let that be your devil, if you want to look at it in those cases, where you have card number 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. That is the number of bringing things into harmony, because that's the Lover's card. You have the ability to kind of make that choice, or to have that strong tie and connection to whatever it is that you have brought. So, wrapping it up, I see this as kind of like an alchemic process of birth, where you are And even when I look at the Three of Pentacles here, I see like cells dividing here, almost like with fetus. You have the the zygote, as they would talk about, where it's like a cell divides into 2 cells, divides into 4 cells, and so on. That is the gestation period. Even when you look at the Empress and she's pregnant, she's not pregnant physically always. This is an allegorical state where we're talking more so about the gestation of abundance, ideas, projects, things that you're trying to get off the ground. The Empress is abundant because she is able to give birth to anything that she sets her mind to. And this is kind of like what I said earlier, if I'm not mistaken, pre-Empress energy with the Three of Pentacles. And now that I see that zygote image in here, that kind of makes even more sense. You are going through a birthing phase right now. You are nearly at the end of it. You are kind of like in the 9th month of this gestation period. And what you want to do now is you want to go ahead, push forward. After you give birth to this project, treat it as if it is your child. And with any child that you raise and that you rear, their actions are going to be reflected in yours. So the business suffers at certain points. Ask yourself what it is that I'm doing that's preventing it from overcoming this obstacle. If you have a difficulty with a relationship, ask yourself, is this the right person that I should be manifesting into my life? Or am I doing something to kind of create issues? Look at this child as a reflection of yourself. And whatever it is that you choose to manifest, make sure it's the right choice. That's that 1 + 5 = 6, the Lovers. Make sure it's the right choice. Thanks again. This has been Aluminum Tarot. If you like what you see here, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Ding the notification bell so that you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is more in tune with your energies, please be sure to contact me at the description box below. Website is still pending. I'm still unpacking. So it's going to get there. Thanks again. Till next time. Love and light. Chat with you soon. Bye now.